Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse 1 here. Today is December 14th. It is Wednesday, 2022. Quick reminder, two things before we jump into this video. Number one, I will be live streaming tonight at 8 p.m., so I would encourage you to join me then. Also wanted to let you know really quickly, the Legacy freeze-dried food sale will be ending on Friday. So if you want to save 20% on that, you would need to go to my website, preppernurse1.com, click on store, it will drop down, you'll see Legacy Foods, you click on that, it will take you to the store within the website. You can save 20% on your purchase with the Legacy freeze-dried foods by using the discount code Solstice2022. Alright, so let's get into this video. It's going to be fun. We're going to talk about some things. We're going to do a little medical stuff today. We'll talk about some things that after S.H.T.F will absolutely take you out of the picture, okay? That are very easily treated now, still causes deaths now. If untreated, you know, what's going to happen. We're going to talk about prevention as well, all right? So first of all, what we're going to talk about is dysentery. All right, we're talking about dysentery first because if you drink tainted water, and the microbials or whatever little bugs are in there, that can cause you to have uncontrollable diarrhea, vomiting, so you're losing body fluids, and if there's no way to treat that to stop you from having the diarrhea and to be able to get that under control, you can die from that. And honestly, in a post-event, the most common cause of death, in my opinion, will be from dysentery. More people are going to die from that than anything else because they're going to look at the water and go, well, look, it's clean, it's clear, I'm going to go ahead and drink it, not realizing that they're drinking water that is contaminated, okay? And that is going to cause major, major problems. One of the other things we're going to talk about with that is E. Coli, okay? So E. Coli will get into the water system as well, because generally it's animal feces that gets into the water. It has E. coli in it. We all have E. coli in our intestines. Healthy human beings have E. coli. Animals have E. coli. The problem is when E. coli gets into the drinking water or in your food. All right. So it's a bacteria. All right. So what happens? It gets deadly when it gets into your food or into your water. So how can it get on? Well, animal feces is generally the biggest cause and spread of E. coli. Not washing your vegetables and making sure that they're clean, and you know, like I said again, drinking contaminated water that you know, that hasn't been treated properly. So those are the big things with E. coli. But like I said, E. coli is a good thing because it's in our systems and we need it. But what will happen is it's not always deadly, but it can cause dehydration, infection, and death if not treated properly, okay? So, next thing we're going to talk about, we're talking about UTIs. Now, UTIs are something that's very common, especially with women, also with older men, and, you know, it has to do with, you know, another, it's an infection that it's a bacteria that gets inside the urethra and the urinary tract, and you know, obviously causes pain and stuff like that. Now, a lot of times with that, it can be, if you're catching it early enough, drinking a lot of fluids, pushing fluids to flush out your system, drinking cranberry juice is good. A lot of times UTIs are treated with antibiotics, right? So in a post-event, you're not going to have access to said antibiotics. So it's something that definitely needs to be dealt with and taken care of. Now we're going to talk about prevention at the end of all this for these different things, and so we're going to get into that, okay? Well, here's the thing too. As of now in this country, I want you to think about this. So this is all part of this as well. Right now in this country, 66% of all Americans are on one or more medications prescribed by the doctor. All right, 66%. So obviously in a post-event, that access is not going to be there. So that is very concerning as well. One of the other things that is concerning is tetanus. Now, a lot of people get a tetanus shot, once every 10 years or so, and that really helps, if you step on a rusty nail, that's you generally, or you cut yourself pretty deeply with something, that's when people go, oh crap, I need to get a tetanus shot, right? Again, prevention is a big part of that. If you guys remember, and the scar, you can't really see it too well, but that scar that I have on my arm or hand here, when I cut myself on the metal roof earlier this year, I took care of that right away, cleaned it really well, but we're going to talk about that more in a little bit. But you think about rusty nails or lacerations as how people get tetanus, right? And that's another thing. But again, you can get tetanus from dirt. Tetanus is in dirt. Again, animal droppings. Once again, animal droppings are great. And actually dust, depending on what you're dealing with there. So, like when you clean out a chicken coop, and you better make sure you have some kind of mask on. And I've not done this myself, and it's my own fault, but you got to make sure, because that gets into the air and you're breathing that in, and that's not a good thing. So, what are the symptoms of tetanus? Usually they show up 3 to 12 days after the bacteria gets into your system. You will experience lockjaw, painful muscle spasms around your face and neck, and difficulty swallowing. If it's not treated and allowed to spread, the rest of your body can cause painful spasms and seizures, a deep fever, blood pressure spikes, and extreme sweating. Even a lot of people that get tetanus, if they've let it go too far and require hospitalization to be treated for tetanus, 1 to 2 people out of every 10 that end up being hospitalized because of tetanus, because they didn't take care of it, will end up dying. So what do you think that'll be like in a post-event, right? Really kind of scary stuff. And again, at the end of this, we're going to talk about ways to be preventative measures to make sure that you don't get these things. Pneumonia is going to be another deadly killer in a post-event. All right, it's an infection of the lungs that causes inflammation, and your breathing sacs to swell up on you, and if not treated. So how do you get pneumonia? It's because you did not treat a cold or the flu, and or you're exposed to somebody else that already has pneumonia. So here's where, well, we're going to talk about that again in a minute. I was going to say isolation is key with that type of thing. But with that, if somebody has not been taking care of their cold or the flu, it can turn into pneumonia, which obviously can be very, very deadly. It's difficulty breathing, coughing up phlegm, having a high fever, and pain in your chest. All right. Prevention, guys. Prevention to all these things is absolutely going to be key. So let's talk about some preventative measures. What can we, so right now in modern society, right, we have modern plumbing. We have the sink right there in the bathroom where you wash your hands right after you use the toilet, hopefully. Before you're handling food, hopefully you're washing your hands. Okay, because fecal matter and all that type of stuff can get on your hands, which then gets into your food if you're not washing your hands before handling food. A lot of issues can come from it, all right? So hygiene is going to be a huge, huge part of helping to prevent E. coli, UTIs, pneumonia, all those type of things, and that's going to be a big, big part of that. All right. The water, like we talked to in the first part of this video, how are you making sure your water's not tainted so you don't get dysentery? You're making sure you're either bringing that water to a rolling boil, putting it through some kind of a filter system, be it a big Berkey or whatever other way you're filtering your water to make sure that that water is clean. Very, very important. I would highly recommend in a post-event. not only filtering your water, but then boiling it afterwards, just to make sure that that water is going to be good to drink. There's no reason to take a chance, because in a post-event, these things will turn deadly if not treated properly, okay? Proper bathroom care, making sure that after you've used the toilet, either urination or defecation, that you are making sure you're washing your hands, keeping your hands clean. The other proper hygiene is washing your private parts, making sure that that is all very, very clean. Pushing fluids on a regular basis, mainly water, making sure you're flushing your system out. Obviously, making sure you have a healthy immune system is also very, very important. Okay? When you're getting ready to cook, make sure you're washing your food. Make sure your hands are washed before you're doing these type of things. And treat colds and the flu as soon as you possibly can. Now, antibiotics are not going to be readily available. A lot of times, how do we treat things? With a UTI, we treat it with antibiotics, right? If somebody has, any kind of an infection from a cut and those type of things, excuse me, again, they're treated with antibiotics to get rid of that infection. You cut your hand, like I cut my hand, right? Never went to the doctor. I ended up not having to take any antibiotics, because what I did right away is I treated the wound. I cleaned it out. I washed it very thoroughly. I was changing my bandage at least twice a day, making sure I was cleaning that wound out very, very well. When you first hurt yourself, be it cut, laceration, or whatever, no matter how minor, in a post-event, you need to make sure you're taking care of that, because you will have issues if you don't. If bacteria gets in there and you end up getting tetanus, you're going to be in deep, deep trouble. What people need to understand is, in our modern society, we're not exposed to a lot of these things because of all the safety measures and precautions that are out there. In a post-event, you're going to be out in the woods more. You're going to be exposed to more things. Injuries are going to happen more often. And making sure we're treating these things is very, very important. Because the last thing you want to do is die from pneumonia, die from a UTI, die from tetanus, die from drinking tainted water, when even in a post-event, these things are preventable with proper sanitation, hygiene, personal care. Just because it's S.H.T.F. doesn't mean you stop washing up. So these are things to think about. I hope this video helps you guys, gives you some food for thought, planning ahead. If you can stockpile some antibiotics, I would highly encourage you to do so ahead of time, because while the antibiotics are there and you have them available, I think it's important to use them as you can and as you have to. That's not going to be your first go-to method, but prevention is going to be key. So something to think about, all right? I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you guys do join me tonight at 8 p.m. for the live stream. Not sure what the topic is going to be yet. I haven't got that far, but we will get there. And so 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be live streaming, so please join us then. Remember, folks, we are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. If we don't figure that one out pretty quickly, we're going to be in big, big trouble. There's tools that are used to divide us. Race, religion, political affiliation, the vax, the unvax. These are all tools used to keep us fighting amongst each other, so we will never take care of the real problems, which is big business and the government controlling every aspect of our lives. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every day how we feel. Last but not least, STD. Step, thing, and day. It is one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to accomplish, whatever you are trying to do, you can do it. The only person that is going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all later tonight. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.